I just want to start saying, but thank you, God. You know, as I'm being damaged psychologically and physically, I know that there's not many days left, but I'm thankful that God has shown me everything I asked for, regard of unveiling the disgustingness of these clowns to the nth degree. But at the same time, as a target individual, it's hard to restrain myself in regard of reacting accordingly. It's becoming easier to hate this low life involving this to another level, and I almost kind of look for confrontation from this church. I almost want them to see if I'll go all the way. And I'm never here to endorse, violence. But it's so hard to not look at them and not seeing them as deserving of violence or hatred or other things. Listen, as target individual, I expect the worst thing. But I've seen children who have gone through agony because they put in this program and test subjects. And the most disgusting part is because in this program, this is a governmental program, they have these losers they contract that's supposed to destabilize you and drive you into insanity. I mean, there's a whole ecosystem from co-workers to neighbors to even homeless, wherever you go that participate in that. And this is obviously a governmental program that is unfortunately splurging on this program because we apparently clearly are some guinea pigs and test subjects. This is clearly for the bigger picture of developing a technology that can do harmful things. It's a weapon utilizing some of the most sophisticated technology that can attack you psychologically and physically. And it's clear that they do that. Now they also utilize this textbook type of psychological attack consisting of utilizing people around you, an ecosystem. As target individual dealing with V2K, gang stalking, and direct energy, you deal with the whole thing. You have these people who are usually nobodies. One thing I've accepted is who participate in this, the ASI, even if the executive, they are not who is in charge. Even if, let's just say you at work and the president at work participate, please understand they're not involved. They're involved, but I'm saying they're not the people who run the show here. This is governmental and top tier governmental. With that being said, you will, as a target individual, deal with the superbs who are the nobodies. Some of them are so nobodies that they're not even adults. Like, they're not even people of adult age. And there's people, unfortunately, for them, and I have no sympathy for them. I detest them so much. I've got to the point where the hatred for the small losers is extremely high because what they do is they are being groomed in ways where they take that as if like it's the whole being is about doing that. Mind you, these people at that age, they're not the most independent people. They're not the most independent thinkers. So these clowns get involved in these things and they can be the most agitating trash, and they take pride of it. And they know their job is to agitate you as a target to not see things where they are, and they take the job very seriously. Basically, they're professional clowns that are not supposed to make you laugh. And for me, the psyop, which is utilized, the cover-up here, was I was supposed to see who's participating in that and ignore what this program does to the most vulnerable. I was supposed to just not see that this program that is clearly torturing and harming children the way you're going to hear is doing that to me. I was supposed to see this trash in front of me as something else, but this program that is doing these things to old women, grandmothers, sodomizing grandmothers, and doing other different sexual torture, disgusting things. And I have an ecosystem that's supposed to destabilize me to not see this program for what it is and what this trash are part of. And they do all kind of little gimmicks. It doesn't work in that sense, but it agitates me. It created rage and hatred that's growing, because I see in real time this trash doing their best to hide the reality of what they're part of, right? And it makes me more angry and more enraged, because what they're part of consists of torturing children, and more validation of that comes up. The torture of women, more validation, it grows. The hatred is building up. Well, these clowns, especially those who aren't fully all the way there, they think it's working. They think they've destabilized me to the point where I'm not seeing the bigger picture of what this is about. That I'm not seeing that they're involved in something that torture children. That women are being raped like that. They think that their little gimmick is working. It's probably also done by design, because I know that in this program they let Target Mitchell crash out. They don't even know that they become just collateral damage. I know that in this program they will allow me to go all out and crash out and do something like a Stephen Marlowe. I know. Oh, they could even facilitate that. But some of these losers don't even know some of them can easily be casualties or collateral damage. I know this is not a loss. If a Tiger Major lose their mind and go berserk, this is what this program is supposed to do. But these clowns think that it's not going to go there, because usually, you know, Tiger Major were not, most of us are not aggressive people. Those who ended up doing that, some of them were very pacific people. Go see Myron May. This man who ended up going to the library and shooting up the library. Go see this man would have not done anything close to that until he was pushed to that. And in this program, they could have stopped him from doing that, but they let him do that because that's the win. Now, with me, these little losers, I have no sympathy for them. I know they're exploiting this trash, but it's not for me to care. I say that out loud, understanding that's the reality of things, but the hatred is still strong. Matter of fact, it's growing the more I listen to the testimonials of women and children being tortured. The stronger the hatred builds on. And then with me, it goes even further than that. Oh, you already hate them for trying to cover up the diabolical thing they're part of and doing these things to you. But for me, there's another level, which at that point, I know if I was targeting with more aggression, this thing would have ended so long ago. I would not be alive. They tell me they're gonna frame me with this disgusting trash. This little weird looking, disgusting trash. You hear this trash. That the second like that, you hear this little weird, little bizarre little things that you just don't see. This disgusting little trashy low life that do everything possible to destabilize me, because you're gonna hear what they're part of, what they do to children and women. When you're gonna hear the horrible things and atrociousness, and you hear somebody like that doing this and see what they kind of look like this trash, and you imagine facing them and confronting them, things are gonna go left badly. And these losers still think that they've hypnotized me to internalize this. Now I know my brain's being manipulated. I know they can make me think however they want, but I no longer want my brain, because it's no longer my brain. So this little disgusting trash, when I see them, and I'm all for them being fanatical to cover up reality. I'm the one damaged. I have nothing to lose. They damage me. As I always say in my videos, I know there'll be a day when I won't be able to function, and the day's coming closer and closer. So I know there's no future for me. I have nothing to lose. If somebody needs to be fanatical, it's me. Because what do I have? But these little losers are fanatical about covering up this, and I'm like all for it. Okay. I've given my warnings. I've done my part. listening to these horrible things that this trash are covering up, and so disgusting trash. Not only I try to cover that up, but then they try to make it look like the desire by me. The only desire I have is, I don't even want to say here, the level of wanting to confront this trash and test what I will do if they do this in front of me is growing by the second. Let me show you first of all what this trash will try to cover up. Listen, I am a target individual dealing with V2K and synthetic telepathy. It's disgusting. They attack my mind, doing these disgusting things, and on top of that, they try to vilify me with whatever they can. And when they try to vilify me, knowing that they're trying to cover up things of that nature, of what they do to women like that, or even children. When you hear how this woman get raped, and I listen every day, I train myself to never normalize that, because they're trying to make that normal in my mind. So when I see them, I don't think about, like, I think that it's normal. Everybody's behaving like this, sodomizing grandmother in this program is the norm. Truly. Matter of fact, you heard the noise campaign? Oh, she was doing an attitude as if she's not in something where you're going to hear this grandmother talk about her sodomizing and sexual assault. Like she's not in what you're going to hear a mother crying because her child is suffering like that. Like you're not going to hear children being abused to the point where they're screaming like that. That this is not the abuse time, that's the word they use. They think they have disconnected themselves. You know how delusional you have to be? I listen to that every day, so I lock it in the second I see this trash. Who forgot that I know the abuse time consists of abusing these children like that. Tiger Major, I do not endorse violence. But for the abuse time that you're going to hear, for this level of sexual assaulting that's happening to this woman, the little trash that you see here, that thought they could counter that, I promise you, it's not a good idea for them. It's not a good idea. And the worst part is like, oh, you threat. It's like, I will do what I said I was going to do. And this trash tell me they're going to frame me. Which, before I get to that point, first of all, it's to the first stage of rage I have. The diabolism of what they do to women and children, as I'm saying that they try to mess with me because this picture here, but excuse my language, but it's so hard for me to maintain composure and not use language of this nature. And as I'm saying that, they try to mess with me. Listen, the horror of what they do is that evil. You know how they try to do to kind of normalize that. They say things like it's our mean, and they say that often enough for me to just look at it as just mean thing, right? As them just be like, oh, whatever, it's nothing. For me, they're mean. This is being recognized, and they're going to be accountable for their mean. And I listen to that all the time.
Okay, go ahead, Richard.
Okay. Yes, we have many.
I cannot hear anything. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The sound in my end, I don't hear anything. So I cannot hear what Dr. Richard Lighthouse is saying.
Okay.
But
So
that is include also the sexual assaults with the technology, because I feel like a man is on top of me. Also sodomizing. Also right now, like they continue.
You heard this grandmother talk about also sodomizing and sexual assault. This is the things they do commonly in this program. This trash do this evilness to grandmothers, but to women, to even children.
Go up during severe zaps to the genitals, and then clearly decrease significantly when not being zapped. And then they increase again once zapped again, in a direct correlation between the spikes in temperature and the zaps to the genitals, which were marked by noticeable spikes in temperature and zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals, up my crotch, and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. One of the things that the V2K repeats often is, "We only get worse." They also often zap my genitals very forcefully while at the same time forcing repeated strong, painful muscle contractions all over my body that are very exhausting, not only because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus, shaking, vibrating, and rocking my body, sometimes making me scratch my genitals so much that it leaves my genitals painfully raw, making it hard to walk or sit or go to the bathroom. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. In one session, the 5-year-old girl, and we have the raw EEG data to show that as well, they zap my genitals, they're extremely perverted, and I do have physiological data to show the temperature spikes when I'm being sexually assaulted, which they do so much of, like all throughout the day. They're zapping my genitals to different degrees. But I can show the spikes in temperature spikes when I'm being sexually assaulted. And
listen, this is the all time. And these not fair things and whatever, they use different terminology. Really, like, they're trying to make it just like this is the norm. And for me, the norm that they have going fuel my rage and fuel me to just understand when I see them, I can't let this thing happen like that. Because with me, it's just seeing them, it's the way they behave. What they wanted to do is to act like they're the ones, the justice seekers and whatnot. And before I bring up what they try to use to vilify me and what they act like they are,
component to this program. Haptic feedback. Vibrations and pain delivered to their most intimate areas in a way that seems to want to humiliate them. Some TIs report seductive or taunting voices in their head at the same time as sexual assaults are taking place. A Washington Post article about the issue states, others report the attacks in the form of sexual stimulation, including one TI who claims he dropped out of the seminary after constant sexual stimulation by directed energy weapons.
There seems to be a predatory element. There are some other things that have happened to me in terms of being a woman that I won't mention here, but there are attacks and assaults in a very intimate way and place.
Sexual aspect, electronic rape. Since somebody is touching you and doing sexual acts, but there's nobody there. If I look at somebody like a man or something, then they'll start touching me.
Just over the last year, it's gotten really much darker with sexual assaults, and then not being able to find the perpetrator or the people assaulting me. Hurts, and I'm a human being.
Yeah, you're talking about like the electromagnetic, the rape and that. Yeah, that's oh my God, that that was kind of on the onset that I became aware of that. It was like I could feel it in my backside and my front side. And in the very beginning, it was, they wanted me to know. It was like I could feel this vibrating, just. Powerlessness, sheer powerlessness over somebody, even though they're not putting their hand, they're putting the weapon on you, and there's nothing you can do. And that's an awful feeling.
It's usually combined with a very cruel microwave auditory effect, voices in their heads telling her, we're not raping you, we're just stimulating you. And that has got to be the most disgusting, wicked, evil, satanic thing I have ever heard.
So other people profit from your suffering. In my book, that is human trafficking. And
this is the things they do. You think they are professional rapists. For the soul of science, I guess, for the sake of science, I should say, for the developing of this technology. This is how they break people psychologically, and sexual torture is commonly utilized. And grandmothers get sodomized, and there's different type of ways they just sexually torture target individual. I'm aware that there's trash, these losers involved in this. You're gonna see involving. I detest this trash. The way I make the videos to me at this point, to those who are watching, which I don't think is that many at this point, and sounds so repetitive, is because I need to say that out loud over and over and over, because I'm trying to train myself to lock it in for what it is, because there is quite the psyop, quite the effort to just erase the reality that there's trash involved in this, are doing that to women, for the purpose of how they try to make me see myself and how they're trying to rewire me. When it comes to children, we'll talk about this nastiness. And there's nothing new here. We all know that target individuals are claiming that their children are being tortured too. And it's not something that's rarely said. It's something they say commonly. Let me see. And you have women like that. Let me see. What you're going to hear is the horrible things they do to children. By the way, the mental game that they're playing for me to try to get my phone, I think the zipper crotch area, and immediately just try to mess with me, because you're going to see a child who is suffering like that. And this trash will manipulate the brain this way. Involving a program that tortures children like that is supposed to cover up and make themselves look like they're the protective children. And they use this disgusting little trash. Well trained. And not even trained, it's like more like it given, like where they're fanatical about covering up the horrible things that they're part of, to make me internalize this manipulation that's so obvious. And they use this little retard that you'll see. That this is what they're part of, while trying to make me internalize manipulation of this obviousness, and doing these harmful things to children in this program, and covering the testimonials of these children suffering, because I'm supposed to be internalizing this manipulation that's so obvious.
Is it Jordan Morgan? Any program like lifetime? They put 3-year-olds on sports.
This is a mother crying. A mother who's a target individual seeing her child suffers like that. That's her emotion, because she sees her child suffering.
Isn't Jordan Morgan any that
What she's saying is hard to hear because she's crying. She said, listen, my son, I have my son. He's enduring more pain than any grown man I've known in my life, in my time, I should say, in my lifetime.
lifetime? He might put 3-year.
They make kids suffer so much they can make them scream like that.
The youngest.
This is the things they do to children. And this trash do this obvious manipulation and utilize this disgusting trash well trained. In a sense of your purpose is to cover that up. Because your job is to make it look like we're protecting kids. And this disgusting trash, some of them not even adults. I understand that, okay, it's going to be hard for him to connect us to these horrible things if we sound childlike. And if you can hear this purpose, you will see around me. Make themselves sound even more childlike. Like, yo, no, it's not. And it's so disgusting because the psychological game they're trying to do is part of the gaslighting television. This is a very sophisticated program in regard to technology. They have these clowns, and these clowns know their job, and they found purpose in that. That even my childishness could be enough to discern the target individual, to not see that we're involved in something that makes children scream like that. And we're the one protecting kids, and they use this disgusting trash. I refuse to call them kids. I call them this non-adult trash. And they try to sound as innocent as they can, or as condescending as they can, to do everything. So when I see them, I don't lock in that this trash are doing everything to desert me, to destabilize me, to not connect them to this.
Isn't Jordan Morgan any that I know in lifetime? He might put 3-year-olds on torture. Isn't Jordan Morgan any that I know in lifetime? He might put 3-year-olds on torture. Isn't Jordan Morgan any that I know in lifetime? He might put 3-year-olds on torture. Isn't Jordan Morgan any that I know in lifetime? He might put 3-year-olds.
Working Vacation. Original remake.
They're trying to counter this. But you clearly see what they're doing to children. And this is something that's happening commonly. Let me see if I can bring this
video as
but this is something they do. They make children suffer like that. It's not something that's rare. I mean, as you're going to see here, and it's mentioned clearly here.
Just stimulating you. And that has got to be the most disgusting, wicked, evil, satanic thing I have ever heard.
Worryingly, a growing number of people are contacting TI support organizations to report that their children seem to be displaying signs of these weapons. Often, the parents are victims themselves, making the torture a generational thing.
A significant number of members, many single mothers and small children, minor children as young as 3 years old, are being targeted and harassed, particularly with what's just called V2K. The sickness that someone would torture a small child is beyond belief.
And that's what they do. They torture children and do all kind of nasty manipulation. Matter of fact, they talk to guys like me because you saw the ad came up and sometimes they play with my phone and I don't like I was shaking so they can make me like my phone is so high that they can play with my phone anytime. And try to gaslight me when I think it's them playing with my phone or something on it because I don't know exactly. So they use that to try to gaslight me. It's like, yeah, you see, we're not things like trash. They use this dumbass ways of gaslighting and then retardation to try to gaslight me to not see them for the tortures of children and involving something where women are being raped at that point and then the losers around me. I said that before that I know I will react accordingly. I prepare myself. It's in this trash involving something that does these things. In my mind, I'm being tormented psychologically. They manipulate my brain in these degrading ways, which I've always bring up. Every time I see children, they do the disgusting things to me, forcing me to get sexual arousals and act like they put their kids. They force things onto you via the manipulation in your brain and try to gaslight you, to internalize this. And matter of fact, then they do this clear manipulation and try to disorient you. Oh, but you thought that this eye came out because we popped it or something. It's something stupid like that. And like, and the reason why they do that is because when it comes to how they manipulate your phone, you're not even sure if it's you having an issue with your phone or they're playing with your phone. They've done things to my phones that let me know very well they control my phone. So everything that's happening to my phone, sometimes it freezes, sometimes it works okay, sometimes the battery dies quickly, sometimes I try to record something, it doesn't work, and then it works whenever. They play with my phone anyways. I barely move my phone and just something else turn on. So they do these things to the point where you don't even know when your phone is manipulated, but they use that to kind of gaslight you. And they do things like that, even random, like, oh, this thing here, you weren't sure, you thought it was us. Sometimes they can enforce these thoughts. So where they can see where you can have doubts, utilize that to gaslight you on things that you know you don't have doubts. The disgusting manipulation is what they do. And they're disgusting. But this trash will torture children that way. They utilize these disgusting fuckers. Excuse my language. Sometimes even I could feel the force to say that. But they do these things where they play with your brain. And the most disgusting part, disgusting teen trash. Oh, I hate this trash. You know, first of all, teenagers can be agitating on their own, not trying to be professional and agitators. There's that part of childhoodness when they're the most annoying. So imagine having annoying trash like that, participating in something that's supposed to agitate you, and then on top of that, not only participating, but then to me they tell me they're gonna frame me with this little disgusting trash. Let me show you, and I always show this trash. They play with my mind because they try to play with my verbiage. You know, when I say that my phone recording, sometimes it takes a while to turn on. Sometimes it's quick. It's like sometimes they wait a little bit and turns on and turn. They like clearly playing my phone. So I record what I'm saying because I try to put myself back to reality. Due to isolation, which is used to brainwash you, I resort to like recording what I want to say, vocalize what I'm trying to say, to stop the games they play in my brain. So as I'm trying to record, sometimes it's like the record takes a while, and then sometimes it goes quickly, and it's like they play with me. But it doesn't really annoy me because I expect sometimes it's going to take some time. And it's just, they play with me, and I guess it's supposed to agitate me. It doesn't work. And they use the same tactics. So I'm recording, and I'm like, this trash, and I say that out loud. They are, and I'm using it, I speak in different language, and they love to play word games to kind of try to say something else that is so stupid too. And I was like, this trash. And this, the most disgusting part is like, due to their non-adultness, they have nothing else going on in life. So they're fully dedicated. They find purpose in destabilizing me. Matter of fact, they even try to sound childlike. They don't even grasp the concept of how foul they are and what should happen to them if they ever try to play this game. They don't even grasp that. Like I said, they don't even know there could be this collateral damage. They don't even know. I'm sure they put them in that circumstances, and they themselves don't know that we are being said to be casualties. They don't even gauge that. That's how like disconnected they are. And I'm like, these people, and it doesn't take the genius. I mean, these people are not the most, like these non-adults. It makes sense in the bigger picture why they utilize them. It's not like the most independent thinkers you can imagine. You can, I mean, any reward, like a little just, oh, thank you, will be like, oh, yeah. It's not like, listen, there's grown men participating in that, but grown women participate. But these clowns, oh my gosh, like if it's like it'd be so easy to just make them feel so empowered. And you know what they find empowerment? To cover up what I just showed. It's like they find it their duty to destabilize me, to never think of how they torture children like that. Never think of how they torture women like that. And internalize this manipulation. As if they're not doing that. And they're actually, and make me internalize that actually there is something where they're researching to protect children. But it goes even further. Because this disgusting trash then think that they're being a hero by acting like they're being raped. They tell me they're gonna frame me with this trash. This little disgusting trash. You've seen some of these pictures. It's a weird feeling because I do want them to try to play this thing in front of me so I can just lash out. But at the same time, I don't, because I don't want that on me. Because what's been happening is when I listen to this torture of children and women, and I become fanatical. And I want to face, because the isolation, just like I've been so not feeling well that it's hard for me to get out of my place. But I almost want a confrontation. I want them to play this game. And the best part is they tell me they're gonna frame. They're not the best part, but the part that they're not cautious. I'm so craving for confrontation, but they tell me they're gonna act like they're gonna create drama. That's what they say. They're gonna have a comedy where they're gonna act like they've been victimized by me. And you don't do that to somebody who was already craving for confrontation, but you add to it, and it's like they want me to do something else. It's like they're giving me the green light. And like I said, these clowns, these people don't, they don't even know they could be those casualties. They almost expect me to be the person who is the reasonable person. And this trash can act insanely. That's what they were. They like were insane. It's like, okay, well, if you act insane, then I can act insane. And I know what's insane about what you guys are. So you torture children and women. So you give me all the right to become insane. You've given me all the rights for this poor mother seeing their children endure more pain than they've seen grown men go through. For the worryingly aspect that children are being tortured like that, some of them in sexual nature. These women, grandmothers getting sodomized. The insanity is clear. These people are involved in something that gives pain to children, make children suffer. And the fact they could act insane is going to cover that up. I swear on the soul of these poor children, I will swear that I have to do something. I swear I'm going to have to do something. I don't even have to think about myself anymore. I put that in my mind. For these kids, I gotta do something. I will not let this trash, especially groomed, to think that their job is to cover up what the product does this to children so they can act like they protect kids. I swear, whatever dumbness and deceptive retardation of tactics try to utilize to gaslight me, I will never allow that. Listen, this little disgusting trash, I don't know if I can, some of these clowns, oh, I wish there's this other little retard that lives around, but this, first of all, today, the way they play my brain, and I see the youngest to the oldest, it mess with me. I'm talking about children. They disturb me, they force me to get this nasty stimulation, sensation, and play with my brain and try to gaslight me to make me internalize these things. Like, no, we're not manipulating you. And like right now, they try to gaslight me. Hey, you thought the ad just popped up because of, and be like, you see, that's not us. And play this kind of trickery to put doubt in things that you know is them doing, and they've done to others. And you realize what you have that on in regard of like, oh, when is your phone being played with? So then that when your brain is being played, my brain is being played every time I see children, they force me to get this nasty manipulation. You're going to feel they do that. But they do that for the youngest, but for this disgusting trash. Now obviously if they can do that to the youngest kids, they can do that to the oldest kids. That's when they try to make me think of them in different ways. But this little, oh my gosh, they're even hearing the voice annoy me. Some of them say like, this little retard. And by the way, to make me accepting of this manipulation toward the older kids, they make me think of like when I followed this person here, Ocean, thinking she was an adult. And then you have this little retard, for example, this trash here with the little forehead that you're seeing here. Some little, yeah. It's a little bizarre, you gotta see a little weird, a little forehead popping up and trying to, and then even some pride. I gotta show you the other one, little retarded one. Excuse my language. Little bizarre little thing, and they play my brain, try to play my perception. They look like little insects with bizarreness. They have the others disgusting. There's all the teen trash there. Oh my gosh. Let me show you. This trash here. A while ago, I think that's what she wanted, because I think she was going to like a dance or something. That's why she dressed like a woman. They try to mess with me. Listen, they do that to the youngest kid. So the older kids, it's easier for them to manipulate because they try to form my brain in ways I could look at a woman, but toward a child now. That's like an older teen. And they do these things. And this trash here. It's annoying. Even her face annoys you. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like when I look at them, I'm like, man, it must be tough to be a parent to this teen trash. When you see how like, oh my gosh, dealing with them as parents, it must not be fun. Like I'm annoyed just looking at you. I can't even imagine being a parent. It's like I just almost like feel like you make me wanting to slap you just by looking at you. It's just so nasty. Look at this trash.
Yeah, say way more. Okay. Yeah, sweet. Top tier.
You ever talk about take it out, take it. They tell me that once they frame me, I'm going to get raped and this and that. I'm like, I already get raped. They live like this trash. And her mother's around, by the way. And she's like, take it out, because when she plays the rape victim, she's gonna be like, I'm gonna be raped. I'd rather be raped. Disgusting with trash. Can you imagine this trash come near me? I call this trash. Before that, I think they were in the hallways. There's a group of this team. They were talking. I was like, man, for me, I'm like, now I don't even want to do that because I know I'm gonna escalate things. I remember I was like, oh, okay, they want to play this. Let me see. I have my camera. At that time, I didn't have my body cam. I just go with my camera, my phone, and then I pretend like I'm talking to you. I see this trash. Actually, I'm glad I was able to find it. I'm going to blur that, but this trash here, bunch of tin trash. But in fact, they try to stimulate toward the hair. There's one that you can barely see anything but like this portion in the hair, and like, oh, it's giving me stimulation. This little retard. They don't even know what to do with themselves. This one is like posing on the wall. I swear, it's almost comical. Like I don't like. Sometimes I'm like this. I look at it like I like look at this rules. And some of them they're looking at their phone because when they do this manipulation. By the way, they're giving stimulation. They look at their phones like, oh, I see, we're not manipulating you. We're looking at you. We're just researching. This trash. And they're trying to play my words because as I'm recording about to talk about this trash art in a different language, there's a word like forming somebody. It's like training somebody, formation, like you go to like training. And so I use the word forming. It's like, yeah, this well formed. In a different language, it means like this well trained. And as I say formed, I use my hand, and they try to make it sound like shape form, like the form of their physique. And I was trying to say how they're formed mentally to be clowns. And like, yeah, we're well formed. We're formed well. And you see how that's trash. What I'm trying to say is like the way they're forming them to behave this way. To the point where their job is to cover up the sufferings of these children. And they're like, yeah, well, it's like, please come. You see the indication. It's like if this trash thing, they're well formed and this is come. I give them all the sign that you come. The little disgustingness, the disturbingness. From this little tiny little weird bizarre to this older teen to whatever else, disgusting. What they're well formed is they're well formed to cover up this horrible shit they're part of. They're well formed in a way that they trained to be gaslighting, negators, and countering the atrociousness that you just heard. And they thought that I'll be mesmerized by how childlike they are in regard. They even make themselves talk like I'll be so, oh, they're so innocent. I can't have rage trash. This is really disgusting. They know, they're very conscious that their job is to cover up the atrociousness that make mother cry like that and women suffer like that. And on top of that, they tell me to confirm. That's why this trash was like, take it. Disgusting trash. And then when they force me to get stimulation toward this disgusting teen trash, I'm like, you do that to the babies, but this trash come near me. One thing I talk about well formed in the sense of like forms like trained is they're very conscious that my brain has to be played with, but they know that they have to stay in character and play the role and still act like they think that I believe that I'm being not manipulated. It's a research that doesn't want into reality to do these disgusting things systematically. But they can play with your brain in this degrading ways. They attack your mind this way. It can force you to have perception that you will not have. And force me to have that toward this disgusting trash that I detest. And their game is to stay in character. But they know if they play the character in front of me at this point, I will not restrain myself. I know that for a fact. For the sake of these poor children. For this woman getting raped like that. I swear I cannot. You heard this trash, attack it. And I know they're encouraging everybody around them. It's like they encourage them to be collateral damage. Because this, with me, with time, the rage increases. It's not going. I'm listening to more testimonials of women and children being tortured, plus are being manipulated, and the hatred. Can you hear? Do you hear that this team trash talking? Can you imagine this trash saying, "Nah, we're gonna play like you raped us and gonna take it"? They can play my brain however, but listen to this trash. Even the voice just turned me ready to crash out. They wanted me to say something else, and they even slammed the door. You see the game they play with each other, and they know that the rich is building. They know I'm not saying that just to say that. And it's like, you want me to do this, and I'm gonna oblige. And I understand what it means. Listen, I have to take it. I will accept that if I go any of those route, there's no longer be me. I will be gone forever, and my torment will end. That's all I can say. For those who play this game, go ahead. I have nothing to lose. I'm not the one who's supposed to restrain myself. I have no life anymore. They are here slowly pacing my death. I tasted my death a little bit. Made it clear that it's over. Nothing to restrain me. Play your game. They're playing my vision slowly, as expected. These people healthy? Can live a long life? I'm gonna be the okay. Do your thing. Do you think, well, I'm gonna just play again? Same character. The game they play in my brain is what they do to other target individuals.
Start to lose your grasp on what's going on. Ultimately, if you can think of the darkest things that you could say to somebody, something that you would never say to somebody, those are the sorts of things that it uses to destroy you.
At first, they were saying a lot of homosexual things to me. Once that really didn't fly, as far as, getting me mad or whatever, they switched over to talking a lot about pedophilia, and that was happening a lot.
Automated torture, 24/7, 365. You have to understand that it's just a computer. Whatever you don't like, it will continue doing.
It was mocking, deriding, and then they can suggest thoughts and actions and emotions. About 6 months of straight-on torture, driving me to the absolute drinks of sanity.
V2K exploits fears, traumas, insecurities. It deceives and manipulates.
80% of the time now it is negative, extremely negative, horrific. But then they can elicit strong emotional reactions on people, and they can do it with whatever emotion.
These could be regularly appearing subtle thoughts telling you to kill yourself. Right. Victims also report thoughts and dreams being sent into their head daily. The thoughts are often indistinguishable from your own, but are obvious because they seem out of place compared to your usual thoughts. These could be regularly appearing subtle thoughts telling you to kill yourself or to hurt people.
They can elicit strong emotional reactions on people, and they can do it with whatever emotion. We can turn you on right now. We can make you angry. We can make you sad, and they would do it. It was like they pressed a button, and it just went, and it just would just go away. And I just felt like totally.
They do these nasty things, from this trash to the younger kids. But in fact, as they tell me, they frame me, they call each other pretty. Apparently, in the interaction they have with each other. By the way, I say my phone's hacked, everything, and they let me know it's hacked. That's why when things happen to my phone, like is that, and it's part of the deception thing because I don't know when it's them doing that or something else is happening. And use that to gas at me. Oh, you see what you done was that's when I don't trash us. But this clowns, even this, I hear this trash DIV2K saying, calling themselves, oh, we're pretty, we're this and that. And tell me that, oh, in the conversation they have with each other, that makes it, they try to make it look like it's me talking to them because I think they hack into my phone or whatever that they are hacking to make it look like it's. This is the kind of thing I don't know. And they keep saying, I'll find out. how they having this conversation with each other. Call each other pretty. But these clowns are so retarded. Let me say this. That's where the word in the other language where they form to stay in character. That is your truth. Even if they know obviously consciously that this is made up. They're well formed to the point where like this is gonna be true. And they use the word language our truth. Even though they know who they're talking to is between each other, to be in character. They act like it really, and I'm like, if you ever come near me, because you thought that by telling yourself that's your truth, and you are here framing me in a program that tortures children and women, and you think I'm not going to do anything, I will oblige. I will go at the end. I don't want to be in speak details about it. It's going to be bad. And I know what I mean. Means I'm no longer be alive. But I refuse to let this trash groomed in this thing, where they're formed in this world of like disgustingness, to cover up, to negate, and paint themselves as victims in a program where they are covering up the victims of inclusive children to make themselves look like they put, I'll swear on this for these poor kids. And the torture of this woman. I'll go wherever it needs to go back. This is beyond me, it's above me. I gotta do something. Like, let me just stay strong. Find yourself lucky you could live life like this trash. Being groomed in a world, formed in a world where you're supposed to be destabilized with somebody for the purpose to paint yourself in something else. Destabilize somebody so that the purpose you can cover up the atrociousness that inclusive of torturing children and women, and do that as a child, or let me just say this better, as a non-adult. And then paint yourself as a victim, as part of how to destabilize somebody, to not see them as the torturers of children and women, playing themselves victims. Right now, the way they destabilize me is like, ask my child, because they try to make me think of who I follow, thinking she was an adult in 2014. That's the way they destabilize me. This starts to move into a blur. Who I follow on Snapchat. No. So they're saying that to destabilize me and then have this little retard like that act like they're victim. This trash. Who thought they could destabilize me from seeing them for the tortures of children that should be hated. Should be hated. More than hated, actually. I'm trying not to use other words. For doing this
video. But you can.
He's endured more than any program I've known in my lifetime. He might put 3-year-olds on torture.
They're having this trash here. Participant covering that up and then looking like they're protecting. They're all on their phone doing their research, like they're trash ass. They wanted me to internalize this manipulation, the way they concoct the things. If I ever see this trash playing this game for me, I know. For the soul of this poor son of this child, this woman having to suffer like that, for the women getting sodomized, these grandmothers getting sodomized, this disgusting teen trash will never destabilize me to not see them for what they are. in the way they try to make themselves look like they're desirable. They use disgusting trash. Technology has to be manipulating my brain to see me this way, and try to put together the things that should make me internalize this, make me think of this ocean person. I thought it was an adult in 2014 because she looked older than what she looked like, almost my age, or looked like in her 20s. To make me subscribe to this disgusting teenage trash who act like they're being victimized by me, and try to destabilize me to cover up how they torture children. And the most disgusting part is the mothers that allow this trash to play this game and think I'm. And the best part is this trash. They have these mothers who read the same character, knowing that they're having their kids play victimized. They're gonna be like, oh, I invite them first. For the mother you start crying like that, I invite them. I'll oblige them first. I'll actually, instead of sending your little retarded trash, come and act like you're a mother concerned about her trashy teen low life. Please come play this game. For the poor mother seeing her child something like that, bring your nastiness. Try to use your motherhood to cover up the atrociousness of what you're part of, and you utilize and exploit your retard of a child. I swear on the soul of these poor women and children, I will act accordingly.